Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring Legacy of the Cage, the Gauntlet. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this dice-powered mixed martial arts game, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to take a look at the anatomy of a fight. Fights are structured like the standard real-life MMA contest of 3 5-minute rounds. Every round is further divided into 10 turns or segments representing 30 seconds of fight time, all fights being 3 rounds of 5 minutes per round. And how do you score? With successful strikes, takedown attempts, and submission attempts. They earn fighters match points. To win a round, a fighter must score more match points than his opponent during that round. We will talk more about this in the scoring section. Now, when it comes to segments, rounds are divided into segments each representing 30 seconds of fight time. There are 10 30-second segments per round, and 3 rounds per fight, making for a 30-segment fight. During each segment, both fighters take exactly one action. An action represents a fighter's primary objective during that segment of the fight. Every round starts with 5 minutes remaining, and successive segments count time down to the 0 mark buzzer at the end of the round. You might think of segments as turns. After a segment is resolved, the fight moves to the next segment until the round is complete. A lot can happen in 30 seconds of a real-world cage fight. In Legacy of the Cage, if a fighter chooses the strike action, he or she turns her focus to landing significant strikes during that segment. Narratively, a combatant may soak some punches, throw some kicks, and sprawl a couple of times. But the strategy for that segment is to land as many significant strikes as possible. Every round is followed by a break, during which fighters use their recovery to regain lost durability. They may also activate skills that have an activation time of between rounds. There is no break after the final round of a fight. When it comes to priority, one fighter must make the first move. This is called priority, of course. Once both fighters have revealed their action choices, you immediately roll a priority check. The fighter with the higher speed score subtracts his opponent's speed score from his own and uses the result to set a target. If the fighter rolls at or under the target, he succeeds on the check and gains priority. The opponent rolls a simultaneous competing priority check. If the opponent rolls a critical result on his check, he gets the jump and gains priority for that segment. In the case where both fighters roll critical results, the fighter with the lower critical result gains priority. Ties go to the fighter with the higher speed score. If speed scores are even, both fighters roll 1d100 until one fighter achieves a lower result than the other. It's always the faster fighter's priority to lose. If your fighter has priority, that means your fighter becomes the active fighter first. The opponent is the reactive fighter. Only the active fighter may make use of active skills, while the reactive fighter may only use reactive skills, logically. When it comes to ring generalship, sometimes you're first to the punch segment after segment, but your action checks just don't go your way. The dice can be fickle. You are still rewarded for your aggressiveness, known as ring generalship. You earn 1 match point for every 4 priority checks you succeed on in a round. You may earn up to 2 match points this way per round. Now, when it comes to positions, fights in Legacy of the Cage follow a similar ebb and flow to fights in the real world. That is, every match starts standing up, and the rest of the match is dictated by the choices of the combatants. Bouts may stay standing round after round while the warriors bang away, or, more than likely, someone will try to take the action to the ground and do some submission grappling. There are 3 positions your fighter may be in at any one time during a fight. There is the standing position, the ground position, the top position, that is when one fighter is on top controlling the bottom fighter, and the bottom position, which is the other way around, a fighter on the bottom trying to improve his or her position. While you are in the standing position, you can carry out 4 actions: strike, or takedown attempt, or taunt, or evade. When on the ground, the battle transitions to the mat. Transitions are important inflection points in a fight, so be sure to read how they occur and what can happen as a result in the transitions section. The fighter who succeeded on the takedown attempt always ends up on top when the fight goes to the ground. This is because the advantage initially goes to the aggressor. While on the ground, depending on your position, you can do certain things. When you are on top, you can strike, you can attempt a submission, you can stand up, evade, or taunt. When you are on the bottom, you can strike at a penalty, you can carry out a submission at a penalty again, you can try to escape, you can try a reversal at a penalty, and evade also at a penalty, and a taunt also at a disadvantage. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about actions, the types of attacks and maneuvers that you can carry out. One thing that I really like is how your attributes are measured against the attributes of your opponent. One is only as strong and capable as his or her opponent is. That's why sometimes it doesn't count when someone has supposedly defeated 10 or 20 opponents. They could all be significantly less capable of winning. But when that same fighter matches his or her own fighting potential against another of an equal or even greater potential, or perhaps slightly lower, things are going to be very different. And this game represents that by measuring the attributes of both combatants and see what you need to roll to succeed. Thank you for watching this part of the review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending right through RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.